Hey, we're live, and I just wanted to say it's been a while. Donald Trump's been president for what, a few weeks now, and he's done some good things. However, the most important thing that he's done, and let me read the Truth Social from him. I will be signing an executive order next week, ending the ridiculous Biden push for paper straws, which don't work. Back to plastic. That's right, plastic straws are back, baby.
Shane, Shane, Shane. Shane, 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 Shane. Allen, Allen. Allen, Allen. Allen, 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 Allen.
That's right. You don't have to use those stupid paper straws that keep dissolving in your fucking drinks. Your thoughts, Alan?
I've never seen one before. I don't live in a shithole. I
Well,
live in the objectively superior southern United States. No one has paper straws here.
so
I thought that was
this
just a
deals-
California thing.
Yeah, this deals with There you go. Fuck California. You want paper straws? Go fuck yourself. How about plastic?
But California can do whatever California is going to do, so I don't know what his executive order is going to change. He's not the president of California.
Yeah, he is.
But we never had that. Never was here. There was always plastic straws here. I've never seen a paper straw in my life. Literally, I've never seen one.
Well, like I said at the beginning, plastic straws are back, baby. So you don't have to worry about paper straws anymore. That's already the best thing he's done so far. Anything else that he's gonna do is completely icing on the cake. Plastic straws. Oh yeah, you can use this, spitballs. Hey, that's what you should use the paper for. Put some paper in there, put it in your mouth, cover it with saliva, put it in the straw,
Wait,
spit it out.
Wait, hold on. Did you just say put some paper in there? Are you from the South too?
Yeah,
Jesus. Wow.
Yep.
All right.
Paper in there.
Paper in there.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it just slips out.
Yeah, I mean, you look it. You look it.
Thanks. Yeah, I try. I try. All right. So, for real though, for real. As the title of this episode indicates, Donald Trump wants America to take over Gaza. To be fair, they've backtracked and said, "Nah, we're just kidding."
Is that what they said? Nah, we're just kidding.
Yeah,
If
they
you could roll
said
that
that.
clip, that'd be great. I
think
want
for
to
real
see that
said
one.
Um,
Okay, all right.
To bring other options to the table, bring all the countries to the table to start negotiating. Saudi Arabia came out and said, "Yeah, that's stupid." Who's a major ally of America. So I don't know
Is it?
why you would want to continue to, I don't really want to piss them off, whatever, Saudi Arabia. Don't they have oil there? I don't know.
Well, the thing is that like these MAGA people are getting out of hand. We've
Hell
been
yeah.
saying from the get-go that if Trump says something good, then you should applaud him for doing something good because you want to see more of that good thing. But if he does something bad, you've got to criticize him for doing something bad. Because if your attitude is, well, we're just going to pat him on the back for everything he says and does, then you're inevitably going to get some bad things. Like Jared Kushner is going to get back in the White House, and then he's going to say, bomb Iran. And then everyone's going to say, oh, well, I guess you take the bad with the good. I guess we're going to war with Iran now. Like, no, you stupid bastards. No.
Wait,
But the thing is about the Gaza. I just want to say really quick about the Gaza thing because there's so many just absolute retards, dick shitters out there who are like, well, if Trump says that we're going to turn, make the Middle East into Gaza-Lago, then I guess we're going to do it. I'm on board. If Trump said it, I'm on board. And
Hell yeah.
it's just a negotiating tactic, you guys.
Yes.
It's he's playing that 4D chess. Like, remember how we made fun of those people for the last 4 years because 4D chess was never a real thing. It was more that he was just flying by the seat of his pants. We're right back to the 4D chess bullshit again. But here's the thing: if you are one of these people who actually thinks that Trump saying we're going to take over Gaza, like that's going to be the 54th state after Canada and Greenland and Panama, then you got Gaza.
let's go.
In negotiations, if everyone knows you're bluffing, then you don't actually have any leverage.
Yeah.
because they have to believe that you will follow through if push comes to shove. So that's just a little something to keep in mind for all those people who are like forcibly removing people from Gaza and thinking that it's just a negotiation tactic.
You don't want to see Gaza turn into this nice, beautiful area where the world's people can come together and hang out. You
How
don't
long
want to
do you
see
think
that?
how long do you think you'll have your timeshare before it blows up?
What do you mean, like explode like the pagers?
It'll be one side or the other. I mean, at this point, who even knows? I don't put it past them to do it if they think it benefits them. Of course they would. I mean, there's the USS Liberty. There's also the Twin Towers. But
yeah.
I'm sorry. But anyway,
The Twin Towers.
I mean, so
9/11.
no. You know the other thing's funny too is that all the Republicans think that we should just go back to being like, let's go back to being Teddy Roosevelt, the Roosevelt corollary of the Monroe Doctrine. We're back to expansion. We're going to add some states. What's so funny is that the Republicans are on board with that, but every single current property, territory, whatever that has ever even been uttered as a possibility to be a state someday are going to be left wing. Like think of the ones that have been actually discussed. Like Greenland hasn't been discussed because Greenland's not a part of the United States and it's not going to be.
Not
but
yet.
it's not going to be. So Washington D.C. The left wingers want to make Washington D.C. a full-fledged state. Well, that just means they get another state and 2 more senators, and like D.C. is not actually that big, but it's a lot of people that live there. So whatever, they get a handful of congressmen, and they get 2 senators. Congratulations, you played yourself. Puerto Rico, guess what? Puerto Rico is going to be left wing. So now they got 4 more senators and like 8 more representatives. If you took Greenland, guess what Greenland would be? Guess what like all the Norwegian countries are? They're going to be left wing. Okay, now the Democrats have 6 new senators and like 12 more representatives in that. You want to keep going? Retards.
Why are you blackpilling? Come on. How dare you?
I'm not blackpilling. We should be eliminating, not adding. See, this is the problem. Is the Republicans get so tunnel vision into let's take Greenland and make it a state. Well, Canada. We're going to make Canada the 51st state. Hardcore left wing. It's just California too. You just add another California, so there's now you're up to 8 more senators, and they're going to get like 30 representatives.
It'll be the biggest state in the union.
So if you wanted to add states, what you should do is you should let a chunk of Oregon, because a big part of Oregon wants to secede, or Oregon and Washington want to secede from there and go to Idaho. What you should say is instead of going to Idaho, you guys just become a state. Northern California. So Northern California wants to leave the rest of California. So instead of moving, just become a state. So we'll say Northern California is so all the conservatives on the West Coast that are completely controlled by, you think like Seattle, Portland, obviously LA, San Francisco. So let Northern California become a state, just like Virginia and West Virginia. So let North California and California, because Virginia didn't become East Virginia. There's just West Virginia and Virginia. So there'll be California still, but Northern California. Let there be, and so again, instead of having like Idaho double in size, let it become East Oregon. And so Southern Washington and East Oregon become a state. And so that way you didn't actually expand, but look at that. Actually, now you have 2 or 4 or 6 more conservative senators, right-wing senators, and
it's a wash.
Yeah. And so like say California loses 9 seats in the House, and that they just become 9, like 7 and 2, 7 conservative and 2 left-wing seats in Northern California, as opposed to them all being a bunch of blues in California. Look, I'm just, New York. Like, New York is a state, like upstate New York is predominantly conservative, but the city of New York is going to own that state forever. Illinois! If Chicago were blinked out of existence by Thanos, by you, then Illinois would be a red state. So look, if you want to add some states, I'm just saying, look, we got states at home.
Hey, yeah, there you go. That sounds
Yeah.
good. Yeah, and speaking of California, are the fires still going?
We're
happened with that?
over that.
What happened
Yeah.
with that?
I don't know. Who cares?
Did California burn already? I don't know.
I don't know. But I think that they should lose some seats in the House now.
Maybe that's what the fires were, to lose some seats, lose some
Which I
politicians.
thought they were already at risk of doing that anyway, because if so many people were leaving the state
Yeah.
because of, like, you know, it being a shithole, then it's like, well, they
Yeah.
should eventually, after the census or whatever, they should lose reps. But I don't know. Like, Tennessee should gain one, and Georgia should
yeah.
gain one, and Alabama should gain, like, all these states where all these assholes left. Like, Texas should gain some seats. And California should lose some seats. But so I mean, that's a good start, but we could just go all the way by breaking up some of these states where you have, like, basically just Los Angeles is just now a state, and Upper California is another state.
Right.
Yeah. Do that. I think that's a great idea. I think that the people in those places would much prefer that. And there are people that I didn't invent this. There are people who advocate for that, but the only way they could realistically do it would be to just say, we've seceded, this is it, and be able to withstand the tanks rolling in, or win in court, or the state as a whole has a referendum and they vote on it and decide. But the people in LA are not going to let, like, the north and east of the state just leave. They're not going to allow it. But of course, it's not really secession if one group can tell the other group they're not allowed to. That's kind of the whole point, is, well, you just do it. But I'm just saying, look, if you wanted to have more states that were more representative of the native populations, then that's the route you would go. And look, I can't help that it just so happens that would help the right wingers. The fact of the matter, because you think about it, how many states can you name right now? Well, we'll play a little game. How many states can you name right now that are blue states, but if their top 2 or 3 cities didn't exist, they would become red states?
Well, you named Illinois, so that's
Illinois.
probably one.
Okay.
Geez, look like a retard. Can't even. Probably.
You do kind of look.
Yeah, probably Washington and Oregon, maybe.
Washington,
Like
Oregon.
Yeah.
The other really, really big one on the West Coast.
Oh, California.
California.
Yeah.
New York.
Right. Minnesota. Maybe.
Maybe. There's some maybes in there. You know, like Wisconsin, Minnesota, Vermont.
Yeah, I was gonna say all the New England states, pretty much.
Some of the upper Northeast, like Maine. Maine would be a red state.
Pennsylvania.
New Hampshire's kind of on the line anyway, but yeah, Pennsylvania. I mean, Pennsylvania has a lot. Pennsylvania is very similar to the Upper South, but they have, you know, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and Erie, and if it wasn't for those, then yeah.
What about Massachusetts?
They're
No?
kind of gay. Yeah. I mean, maybe, but they're kind of gay.
Yeah.
So I mean, but still, like, we've almost run out of fingers already. Okay.
Oh, no, never mind. No.
Okay, now, can you name red states that if you got rid of the big cities, they would turn blue?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know if you can name one.
I don't think you can name one. That'd be an interesting thought project for chat. Can you think of a red state? And I'm not talking about a state that's like a battleground state that's flip-flopped in the last 20 or 30 years. Like, can you think of a state that has been red for half a century or more, that if you got rid of the biggest 2 or 3 cities, it would actually go from being majority red to being majority blue? I don't think there is such a place. In fact, I don't think it's such a place and it's even close. So I'm just saying that if you wanted to go the route of like this de-urbanization, like you can't go to a major city and say, well, we're just going to shut this down, because if anything, the cities are going to continue to grow. Well, not the ones on the West Coast, but they're going to continue to grow. But I mean, the big cities in the red states are growing because those people are leaving. Those people want to leave that state because it sucks, but they enjoy city life, so they're moving from a big city in the blue state to a big city in a red state. I mean, like even Texas has Austin, right? Austin's a very liberal city, right, but Texas is a red state. Well, yeah. But again, like I said, if you deleted the cities, does the state become blue instead of red? Well, that means in Texas, you actually delete Austin. Well, that just means it goes that much further red than it already is.
Yeah.
So the point I'm making is that if you wanted to kind of go the de-urbanization route and just say that, well, we can't, the cities are the cities. They're the economic centers, whatever. But, we want to have representative politics, right? It's supposed to be a representative democracy, a constitutional republic, and therefore we don't want to have a city with 1 million people in it and then a countryside with 300,000 people in it, and the city tells everyone else that, well, look, this is how the state's going to be run forever, even if it's like 1,000 square miles, and people that live in 3 square miles tell the people that live in the 997 square miles how they're going to live. Then what you do is you break them up. We're going to break them up. So instead of having 50 states, we're going to have like 65 states. Now, is it my fault that those 15 new states are like all right wing? I mean, it's not like I'm not gerrymandering. I'm not specifically just trying to pick areas and say, okay, let's put this area together. All right, they're all good Christian Republican. I don't give a shit about fuck Republicans. I don't give a fuck. But I'm just saying that, look, that's just how it is. The cities are rife with liberal retards, and like everyone's seen that electoral map, right, where it's broken down by county, and you can see like the overwhelming majority of the country is red with these little pockets of blue, and yet that's still like 51% to 49%.
Yeah, yeah.
Then what we're going to do is we're going to let them keep their population bubbles, and they're going to get to have their senators that they still currently have. But all of these other massive areas of, say, like for every few 100,000 people, we're going to put a new pin on the map and say, okay, you guys get a couple senators and a handful of representatives for the House. The House should grow. There's 435 members of Congress, but that's nowhere near enough people to represent a country of 350 million. So we're gonna up that number to we're gonna put like 1,000 people in Congress. And I know you're thinking, well, wait, that's a whole lot more lizard people. It is, and I know that that's scary, but it's not representative. If you're like if the person who represents your district represents like 2 million people, you will never see or speak to that person ever in your life. But if he represented like 10,000 people, then it'd be like, we're going down to fucking Jerry's house. I'm going to tell him to stop this bullshit he's been up to. And y'all all get together and go to Jerry's house. That's how it was meant to be. Even when the nation was founded, when the founding documents were being written, people like Thomas Jefferson were already saying then that the population of these new states is too big for it to be represented by a certain number of people. They are, at the time, it was like one representative for every something like 20,000 people, and they thought that was obscene. That's way too many people to be represented by one guy, and now it's like millions.
Yeah.
So let's up the number of members of Congress. We're going to up the Senate to like 150 instead of 100, so that we can give 2 senators to all these new like little geographic areas that we're carving out. And or maybe maybe 124. So that means we'll carve out 12 new states out of the current states that we have. The contiguous 48, because Alaska is going to remain Alaska for population reasons, and Hawaii is going to remain Hawaii for population and size reasons. And so there you go. So we're going to have 62 states and 124 senators, and what will that be? That'll be about 70 more members of the House.
Got to make a new flag. Damn it.
So like six or seven more people. We'll say 84 new members of the House. Yeah, you're gonna have to make a new flag. Yeah, better get on that. I suggest something that looks more like an X, but do that, and then people are more realistically represented in pockets that more. The people in each geographic group are more uniform, and therefore their representation will be more of and by them, right? It's supposed to be of and by the people. Well, that makes more sense if you have a representative for a smaller group of people, and that group of people are more uniform in their culture and beliefs and views on government and whatever. Again, the reason why there's no push for that, or at least it's limited, is because that would absolutely destroy the left wing. The country would overnight, like, they wouldn't win an election. Now even like just like we have today, there's a bunch of shitty right wingers, and you'd have to get rid of the shitty right wingers. But imagine if for every one, Mitch McConnell, you get 5 more Rand Pauls. For every one Nancy Pelosi, you get 5 more Thomas Masseys out of the deal. That totally shifts the balance. It's like so far to the other side that these retards who want to like mutilate children's genitals and drink out of paper straws, they're never winning again. Or at the very, I should take that back. They can still win. They would just have to advocate for policies that aren't fucking retarded. Then they could win.
Well, you should tag Elon Musk, and then he'll maybe see that. And you're like, oh yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Let me go talk to the guys in the big house. Ask them about that.
Yeah, and then they're going to say no. That's the people in the big house are not interested in that. They're not interested in more. They're not interested in more representative government. It's not what they're about.
I don't know how we got from talking about Gaza to making more states in the United States of America, but I do want to go back
because he said he wants to take Gaza.
That's true. Yeah. So I wanted to share something, and I'm sure you're familiar with this, but this guy right here, Will Chamberlain, said, "You guys aren't thinking big enough about what Trump is saying about Gaza. The Gaza Strip will be ours," in all caps. American property, American sovereignty. I don't even think that's spelled right. An overseas territory, not someone else's territory where we are guests. Our property where we can enforce our immigration rules. He continues, "It will reshape the Middle East. We won't be Department of Qatar to host our military base in the region. We'll literally have our own sovereign territory the size of Las Vegas, perfectly located." As if like Israel is in smack dab in the middle.
All of that is so retarded that's why that guy was getting roasted nonstop like all week. It's because he said something that stupid and then doubled down on it. That's why there was like hundreds and hundreds of people calling him a fucking retard. The Gaza Strip will be ours. So again,
I can visit there anytime. Cool. That sounds
great. Great. It's ours now. So now when suicide bombers blow up our property in our new Gaza Strip, it'll be our problem. Wonderful. Great. All of that's for Israel, by the way. His tongue is so far up the ass of Israel that he doesn't even see the forest from the trees. No, Gaza is not gonna. Yeah, dick shitter. Yeah, we got to bleed these people out of this country. That's not America first. That's Israel first.
What did he say? Guards, this woman has lost her composure. Wow, it's calling you a woman.
Yeah, I know. He's exactly the kind of person who would never actually say that, in real life, because he would lose teeth. Yeah, so
Wow.
you see Suzanne Sherman down there. Yeah, you missed the only good comment. Just imagine all those timeshares blowing up mysteriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Good point.
Why does this just keep happening? It's just because they're evil. It's because they hate Gaza for our freedoms. That's what it is. Fucking goddamn retard. Jesus.
Oh, and speaking of that, actually, I wanted to. Is it on here? Let me see. Share this one. I thought was kind of interesting. So from the Z blog, who quotes Will Chamberlain because he was disagreeing with someone. So originally, Disclose.tv said Spain and Ireland must take displaced Palestinians from Gaza, says Israeli defense minister. This is from February 6th. Captive Dreamer says absolutely not. Will Chamberlain says, disagree. Spain and Ireland are both spiritually shit-lib countries run by socialists. Both particularly obnoxious virtue signals about the poor Palestinians. Let them put their money where their mouth is. And then Z-Blog quotes Will Chamberlain and says, notice the casual disregard for the people who will be terrorized by these Palestinians. He does not like the government of Ireland, so it is a good reason to murder some Irish. My goodness, this is the mind of a sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
So there you
Europe
go.
for the Europeans, America for the Americans. And Will Chamberlain doesn't belong in any of those places. He can go fucking live in Tel Aviv, preferably before a dirty bomb shows up. Which, by the way, if you go back to my tweet, I don't think you liked it. So why are you ratioing your co-host? I think you should go like the tweet. I'll wait.
I was like, oh, I wanted to say, oh, fight, because I was hoping that you and Will were going to continue with the Twitter.
I was at
war.
work. I don't jerk off Jews under an overpass for $15 a man. I have to actually go to work.
I don't want that
So-
image in my head, so I got thanks.
Well, I mean, it's only like half a hand, but
Wow.
I mean, they're the ones that like. Never mind. I was just, I don't know. We've already covered a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We already did a 9/11. We already did
A Liberty.
yeah. So, yeah.
All right. So, just to recap on that topic, I think with that whole Gaza Strip thing, and because some people were saying that, oh, Netanyahu was just like, oh, thank you, Mr. Donald Trump puppet. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
you
he's
say
doing
that.
the meme.
Yeah,
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 he's
yeah.
yeah.
And
Jesus.
but there are other people that were saying, oh, Netanyahu was like, wait, what the fuck did you just say? Wait, what? Hold on a second. Wait, what? So interpret it however you're going to interpret it. I don't see it happening, so I'm sticking to that. I mean, the fact that a lot of people were coming out saying this isn't a good idea, fucking Lindsey Graham coming out being like, yeah, this is stupid. Fucking Lindsey Graham being like, yeah, come on, man. Like, I don't know. But then a lot of his supporters, a lot of Donald Trump supporters, be like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Other countries being like, no, we're not going to take Palestinians. Wait, what? No. So a lot of people just going out after he says that and just basically kind of rebutting everything he was saying, or rebuking, whatever that word is. Yeah. So who knows? But I don't think it's going to happen. But I guess we'll see. And yeah, that's my prediction. I'm sticking to it. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, then my apologies. Anyway, moving on, I wanted to talk about something else as well that's been going on. So the Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE, they've been doing a lot of good, it seems, at least from what I've seen. One of the things that they've brought up is this. In the past 48 hours, HHS canceled 62 contracts worth $182 million. These contracts were entirely for administrative expenses. None touched any healthcare programs. This included terminating a $168,000 contract for an Anthony Fauci exhibit at the NIH Museum. Alan, would you want to see an Anthony Fauci exhibit at the NIH museum? Would you pay to go see that?
Well, like, if it was one of those exhibits where you follow the timeline of, here's his life, and then here's his arrest, and here's his trial, and then,
Yeah.
here was his execution date, and, like, here's his legacy. Like, yeah, maybe that.
Well, he did get his security clearance taken, right? So there's
Hmm.
that. Joe Biden got a security clearance, so shit. I mean,
Well, no, he Fauci was having security paid
right.
for.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
doesn't have
yeah.
security. He shouldn't have had a security. I mean, he probably did have a security clearance. He doesn't need one.
Right.
He doesn't do anything of national security interest. But uh, I mean, the thing though is that like they're still just scratching the surface. Like I understand that it
Oh
takes
yeah. I mean,
time, and
yeah.
it is good that like remember all those years where Rand Paul had his little Festivus thing at Christmas, and
Yeah.
he would have that big long list of all the crazy shit, like they're putting quail on cocaine to see
Right.
different things and whatever. It's good that there's at least people that are saying, okay, from now on, if we identify these things, we're not just gonna like talk about it. We're going to say, okay, that's over. We're going to actually trace it to, okay, what department oversees this? Okay, you're fired.
You're fired.
Yeah. So, like that's cool that they're doing that, but there's still like Elon Musk himself. It's not just a token criticism. He himself has said that they're nowhere near the pace they need to be to eliminate
Which
talking about the type of deficits that we're running.
yeah, it
Like
just
we're not talking about addressing the national debt at this point. We're talking about just addressing the annual deficit that's still adding to the national
Yeah.
debt every year. He knows that they have to get to a point where they're eliminating something like a few $billion a day
crazy.
in government spending in order to just like break even, in order to just pay our bills per year
So
and not
stupid.
add to the yeah I know it's crazy. So so when they find like when they cut
God.
whatever it is, like, oh, we cut $100 million, it's like, that's only 10% of 1 billion, and they need to be cutting 4 billion per day in order for us to get to the break-even point for fiscal year 2025.
It just shows just how crazy this whole thing is. The fact that they've just barely scratched the surface. They're nibbling, they're not going to be able to, like, they're trying to get in the ice. But man, after 4 years of this, or whenever DOGE is supposed to be officially like gone or whatever it is, like, I mean, I don't know what the whole end game is for that, but I can't imagine it really being, because if Elon Musk himself is saying, I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. It's crazy. Just how
What
convoluted all of it is.
the cynic in me would say that the reason why he's changed his tune to, man, I don't know if we can do this, is everybody knows that the only way that they address that is defense spending and welfare, like Social
Sure, yeah.
Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and then defense spending. So defense spending would be the first one, right? Because that's spending more money on shit that we don't need. Just point a nuke at every 50 square miles on planet Earth and cut the rest of the military. It's over. Close all the overseas bases, bring all the troops home and put them on the border. I think that their scheme, like Trump's vision for his second administration in terms of policy and specifically economic policy, was we're going to raise tariffs. We're going to address the border. We're going to try to address the energy sector. We're going to try to become more energy independent domestically. We're going to lower the cost. We're going to lower the cost of energy. We're going to close the border. We're going to improve the economy by kicking out all the illegal immigrants and ending their subsidies. And then we're going to raise tariffs. And while it is true that raising tariffs also means that companies are going to just the cost is going to be transferred to the consumer. Trump could theoretically send his negotiators to talk to a lot of the major Fortune 500s, talk to a lot of the major retailers, talk to the major manufacturers, talk to the Walmarts of the world, and say, look, this is what we need you to do. We're gonna cut your taxes. We're going to save you money on domestic shipping and energy. And in exchange for the money that we're going to save you on the back end, you're going to not raise your prices above X% as an adjustment to, overseas trading due to tariffs. Now, I'm not saying that necessarily would work. I'm not saying I endorse that plan. I'm just saying that I can see that that's what the plan could be. Is that, well, if we can save money on X, then that means we won't overspend on Y. It's not rocket science. But all of that still absolutely pales in comparison to defense spending, military budget, and then liabilities. Now, you could make the argument that, well, look, it's just political suicide to even remotely begin to address Social Security and Medicare, because, even all your boomer right-wingers that are voting your people into office are saying, don't touch my Social Security, I done paid it all my life. Everyone knows their money's gone. Everyone knows it's a Ponzi scheme and the government's already spent it, but they don't know/care. They want their money. As Ron Paul used to always say, it's like, look, just phase it out. The people that have paid in, that are currently drawing retirement, commit to making those payments for the next generation that are currently paying in, and they're 10 or 15 or 20 years away from retirement. Make it optional. They can either opt out for a rebate or they can stay in. And then for young people, then make it voluntary. Do you want to sign up for this program? If you don't, okay, you don't have to pay this. Because a huge majority of young people just getting their start, people just going to work, if you give them a checkbox option where you keep this money or you give it to the government, they're going to keep it. Like, why? Not only would they just want to have more money today, but I don't think it'll be around by the time I'm that old anyway. I think the programs will have already reached insolvency and collapsed. So if you're of the belief that the welfare programs are going to collapse under their own weight anyway, because we can't afford the hundreds of trillions of dollars in unfunded future liabilities, then what you can do in the here and now is address the military budget. Close the bases, bring the troops home, line the border with the troops to help shut down the fentanyl trade and illegal immigration. Like, look, if those are your key things that you want to do, is stop drug trafficking and child trafficking and illegal immigration, then take all the troops that are stationed overseas, close all those bases, tell all those countries, hey, here's your bill. Here's your bill for what we've been subsidizing for you. Let us know when you're ready to pony up. And then we take all those people and line them on the border. Boom. Problem solved. The only reason that wasn't done on day one is because now you're in a fight. You have no idea. You're in a fight with all the defense contractors don't make money having the troops stationed domestically watching the Rio Grande. They only make money when we are dropping ordnance on brown people around the world. That's how they make fucking money. And when we're not doing that, they don't make any money. So it's all about those defense. If you're willing to go to war with DOGE and Musk, RFK, we're going to go to war with Big Pharma. They've been making Americans sick and feeding them a bunch of pills. Okay, well, when you're done going to war with them, then go to war with the defense contractors. That'll be a fun one.
Well, I have heard that DOGE is going to probe the Pentagon and the Department of Education.
Well, you remember what happened the last time they were doing that to the Pentagon?
Yeah, no. 9/11. That's funny.
I don't know if funny is the word. We'll say that when Shane said funny, he meant it like odd. Oh, that's funny,
Well, I'm thinking of
What's that show with that
man.
one guy who thinks 9/11 is funny?
Oh boy.
Of course, Norm Macdonald thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. So blame him.
Yeah, he would just say the words 9/11 and start laughing.
I know. So, speaking of DOGE and the Department of Education, I don't know if you've seen videos of everyone's favorite black woman, Maxine Waters, and a bunch of other politicians or whoever. You know, they march up to the Department of Education building. Hey, we demand to go in there. Man, you're not taking our education away, because the Department of Education has done so well for the American education system. But I wanted to share this because I think it's funny. I hope you do too. It's short.
Give me that ID again.
Showed you the ID. I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the
Could
ID.
you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No, that's from David Santa Carla. I want to give that person credit. But they also have the background where they're like in a where they're like in a gas station. It says me trying to buy beer in high school.
Mm-hmm. I just want to point out, Maxine Waters is 86, so the problem's going to take care of itself pretty soon.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
Nancy Pelosi's 84. That's another one. We just got to hold out a little bit longer. Come on. They got to be running out of adrenochrome pretty soon.
Oh my God, that. My God, Maxine Waters. I don't even know what to say about her. She's so fucking dumb. Like, I don't even like what.
Oh
the
yeah.
hell?
Oh, they're definitely not impressive people.
Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
Showed you the ID. I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the
Could
ID.
you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
Come on. Hot, sicker than your average.
Said breaking. Black woman told no. Retreats to movies to yell at the screen. Thanks again, David Santa Carla. An American legend is born. That guy. He's gonna be pretty popular for a while. Stood up to that black whatever.
I mean, all of them. Chuck Schumer's up there. He's not as old as.
Oh.
He's in
Yeah,
his
but he's doing the
mid-70s.
he's doing the thing. He's doing the.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He definitely looks like one of them. Yeah, Jim Clyburn's 84, Pelosi's 84,
Jeez.
Waters is 80. So they're all actually really close to the same age, and that age is, they're at the age of any old day now. Be great.
Any day now, I guess drop dead. Laughing at death.
Yeah. But of course, it's not to say that they're not going to be replaced by other absolutely terrible people, but
Right.
but it is notable that it is several of them. Several of them are in that generation. A bunch of boomers. I mean, actually, they're older than boomers. Right? If they're in their mid-80s, they're older than boomers.
Is that the boomer age? Is that the boomerang age?
Well, boomers or baby boomers. So, all right, in 2025, baby boomers are between 61 and 79 years old, depending on their exact year of birth. So, yeah, they're old. They're not even boomers, dude.
Oh my God! Go on.
Jesus. Yeah, no, they shouldn't. I mean, they shouldn't be out saying or doing anything. They certainly shouldn't be like senators and congressmen. Absolutely not. Crazy talk.
Here's more video of Maxine Waters talking to that guy outside the federal building.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him. Let him see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
The ID. I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the
Could
ID.
you let me
Hell
see
yeah.
the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. They didn't see it. I didn't.
My God, can you imagine that? Just the whole day, these fucking yapping in your face. No, show me, give me a fan. No, you show me. Yeah, can you ask this guy? The hell? That guy is standing firm and standing strong. Hell yeah, keep it up. Don't let those bitches in that building. Just how about this? How about everybody scoot out of the way, and then put some bombs in there, and then blow that fucking building up.
Well, that was the thing about how all those Democratic congressmen who went down to the USAID building, which now is like defunct,
right? Because they took the sign down.
But they go down to the building because they know, like they saw the headlines of Musk's team is upstairs and they're looking at the books
to Elon
or
Musk.
Yeah, so they go down to the building, and I love it. Yeah, security is like, yeah, I know who you are. You're not authorized to be here. Bye.
Right. Yeah.
Just because you're just because you brought a camera crew doesn't actually mean your security card works at this door.
Oh, you got a camera crew. Yeah. Come on in, everybody. Yeah. Get on in here. Yeah, go on there. Elon Musk is expecting you.
That's the ultimate thing, right? It's like if you were legitimately trying to be like the public trust and you wanted to go in there and have some conversation or oversee what they were doing, then you would have just gotten in your car and drove over there, right? But the fact that you showed up with a posse and a camera crew tells me you're not serious.
Well, it's like the what was it before when all these politicians going to North Carolina, and they're all rushing over there. Hey, what's going on? Maybe, I think it was the USAD. Maybe I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was some where like Elon Omar was one of them that were among the crowd of people. Going to North Carolina, and it's like, well, there was something else going on in North Carolina. How come no one else went over there to help out? I'm sure there's people out there who need help, but no, this thing's more important. What the fuck, man? Come on.
Well, that's the other thing too. There's something to be said about it's the way the mind of the perpetual public servant works. Like people who have spent essentially their entire lives on the government dole. They may not have been getting paid from, fucking welfare in Section 8, but they're welfare babies. They've been on the public dole, like Bernie Sanders, for instance. Like Bernie Sanders is exactly the kind of guy who talks about socialism and everything wrong with the capitalism and the U.S. government. This dude's been drawing a paycheck from the federal government for like 40 years. This is a complete and total fraud. On top of all the checks he's been getting from Big Pharma and everyone else. But I'm not even worried about his sponsors. I'm talking about he's been getting a paycheck from the government for decades and decades. The way the mind of the perpetual public servant works is if there's a problem, then they need to be seen on the scene. And then their answer to help these people, like, okay, hey guys, I'm down here in the western hills of the Carolinas, in the Appalachians. We're seeing the devastation. We're seeing the flooding. We're seeing the people in tents and without power and whatever. Well, we're going to go back to Washington and talk about this. Right? That's the way the mind of the public servant works. But remember, these people are also millionaires. They're all millionaires because they all go to Washington as middle class and they leave Washington as multimillionaires, like a Nancy Pelosi, for instance. But the mind of the private sector person is more like that Nicole Shanahan, right? The mind of the private sector person is, I'm going to go to the Carolinas. I'm going to be there. I'm going to see the devastation and see the flooding and see the people in the tents. And then I'm going to say, okay, here's what I can do today. Okay, let me get my checkbook out. All right, let me make some calls. Okay, these are the crews we can put together. These are the supplies that we can get on such short notice. All right, this is what it's going to cost. Well, fuck, we don't have time for that. Let me just get out my checkbook and write, okay, here you go. Go get those supplies to those people right there. Mm-hmm. That's what normal functioning non-lizard people do. Whereas the lizard people just want to, take a selfie with it and then say, okay, well, let's go back to Washington to talk about how we can help those people. What do you mean how we can help? how you can help is help that guy right there, right now. Give that guy water right, like here, take this and give this to that guy right now. It doesn't even cross their minds. That's the thing. They would never even fathom lifting a finger or spending a buck to help any of those people. They want to go to Washington and talk about it. And then they want to make it a centerpiece of their next negotiation, right? It's like, well, if you want us to do that, if you want us to help those Carolinians, then you're going to have to give nukes to Ukraine or some dumb bullshit like that, right? And then you have dick shitter right wingers like Mike Johnson or fuck ass whatever that dude's name was that tweeted. But you have like Speaker Mike Johnson, who's like he's bending over backwards to give them everything they want. Like, sorry guys, we can't put anything conservative in any of these negotiations because we got to do X, Y, and Z that the Democrats want in order to get a morsel of this. But and I just use that Nicole Shanahan as an example because she's been in the news recently talking about funding primary challenges against people who have stabbed them in the back in a variety of ways. And it's like, but that's, again, you can tell that she's not a perpetual a member of the public servant class, because if she were, then her answer would be, well, we're just going to have to introduce this bill, and we're just going to have to wait to next election, and we're just going to have to vote harder. No. She's like, no. I'm getting my checkbook out, and we're gonna spend the money, and we're gonna do the work starting today to get rid of you. So when you think of how much money these people are worth, you're like, how is there, like, how long did Flint, Michigan go without drinking water? Do they even still not have drink? I mean, I don't know. Is Flint, Michigan still there? I don't know. But when that was going on, it's like you think of all the millionaires. Like, how many of them, instead of, and I don't mean donate. No. You actually go there, figure out what $1 million would do to help, like, this group of people, and then just go spend it and then give them the aid. That's what you do. You don't give it to the fucking Red Cross. You don't donate it to fucking John Fetterman. You don't, or Israel. You don't do that. You just go spend the money on the supplies and go and deliver it to the people. Streets run red, man. That's the only answer.
Well, we can end the show on a positive note.
Oh, good.
So, as I told you before, that I had a little game that I wanted to play. So, it's simple. It shouldn't take too long. It's just who did it better. And originally I had two choices, but then I came with a third one. Okay. So I guess who did it best, because there's more than two. I don't know. Whatever the correct English grammar is. Okay. That. So the first one, and I mean, it's a classic. So this shouldn't surprise you or anything like that. You're like, what? I don't know. I never seen this before. So we all remember this whole thing that happened. Remember this? Remember this guy? Remember when this guy used to be the president? Remember this guy? He's going up to Air Force One. Oh, he slipped. Remember this classic?
Again. He really slipped. Yeah.
Look at that. And then,
okay. Yeah. If he had just stumbled at once, it wouldn't have been a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he did that. So there's that one. And so now that's the first one. This next one also just happened pretty recently. You may have seen it, but it's this guy right here, Mitch McConnell. The camera's great. I mean, how many times has this happened to him? He had that one time where he just froze. Yeah. Sir, you gonna answer the question? He's just like he had a stroke or something. I don't know what's going on, but
yeah,
I like the camera zooming out right when he hits the ground. Perfect. Whoever the cameraman is for this is great. He's awesome. She's awesome. Whatever. All right, so there's that one. And now this one, we actually were talking about this person just on this very show. It's a 84-year-old Nancy Pelosi spotted hobbling to her van, struggling to walk. Look at this lady. I never even seen this. I never knew that she used walker before. I never knew that. Look at this. No, she doesn't trip or anything, but it's just
Well, if she doesn't trip or anything, then that's nothing.
it's nothing. But I would say it kind of makes you go like you can barely even do anything. Like it's like when that whole thing with Hillary Clinton when they were putting her in and she was just like,
Yeah.
you know.
hmm
So
Yeah, people who need constant supervision to physically go from point A to point B, people who need to have like round the clock care in case of, catastrophe, are supposed to be people that you trust to be up at like 4 a.m. in the situation room, with the red phone, like, fire the missiles, where are the hostages? All right, send in SEAL Team 6. All right, you put that up on the monitor. Do you think that fucking thing right there is gonna get up at 3:30 in the morning and go to the situation room? Are you kidding me?
no, she'd probably have to pick if Nancy Pelosi was going to be the president, she had to pick a nice young woman. Probably it'd be a nice young, like, I don't know, Hispanic woman to be all the hip. I'll do it for you, Mrs. President. I'll do that for you because I know you're an old lady and you need your sleep. I'll do it for you. I'll go into the briefing. Oh, thank you, ma'am. I really appreciate it. She's like 45 years old, half her age, and she moves around.
Well, it's
She
the same
works
thing
out
as
every day.
Biden. Like it was
Right.
no secret. It was no secret that they openly said that oh, Biden's totally just as sharp as ever. But he's getting older, and so he's really not good for much after like 5 p.m. He just has dinner and gets ready for bed, so he can be up bright and early for the early bird special the next day. It's like, so again, if this guy could barely function after like 5 or 6 p.m., is falling asleep at public like get-togethers with other world leaders, forgets what he's saying in the middle of his speeches and whatever. Could you imagine them putting him to bed at like 8:30 at night, and then at 3:30 in the morning there's some sort of like, oh no, the embassy in Bumblefuck was stormed by whatever, Mr. President, what should we do? Are you kidding me? I'm willing to bet they don't even get him up. They probably go to whoever his handlers were and say, is this something we need to get him up for? Or them say, no, well, we're just going to do what we're going to do. And then when he gets up, we'll just inform him. These are the decisions that were made in your name, sign here. Like, come on. Look, Trump's no spring chicken either, by the way, but
Sure, yeah.
He at least is mentally,
More
he's
so,
mentally
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I mean, he's physically not in good shape. He's been.
No, his doctor said that he was in the perfect health. What are you talking about?
He's a big guy. He's not a little dude, and big guys tend to have more health problems in backs and hips and knees. And on top of that, he's overweight, big time. So he's an overweight, larger man who is now like he's only like 4 or 5 years younger than Joe Biden. For God's sake, it's like we're not talking about a lot of crazy stuff here.
Yeah.
Like the difference in age between Joe Biden, who is, oldest loser ever, and Donald Trump saying, "Oh, look at stumbling, bumbling old Joe. He's not a young, frisk man like me." The age difference between them is like the age difference between you and me. So when I'm Joe Biden's age, I'm going to need you at like 78 to come take care of me.
So the Nancy Pelosi thing was probably was a nothing burger. It's just her using a walk wherever. She's 84 years old. But of the two, Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell, which one was your favorite?
My favorite's Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell, like, it's so funny because I know that any generic right winger that's out there right now, if you ask them, like, if you could just take one of these lizard people and just drop them in fucking Marianas Trench, which one would you pick? And they would undoubtedly pick a Democrat. No, I picked Mitch McConnell. I would.
You don't like Mitch McConnell? You don't like him?
No one likes Mitch McConnell except for all the retards that live in Kentucky. Retards.
They must just see his name and go, yeah, I guess, fuck it. Mitch McConnell. I know the guy's name.
It's because there hasn't been a legitimate primary challenge, and even if there were, the Republican Party is big shocker. Sorry to hear this, guys, but they promote the status quo. Look, the only reason Rand Paul is a senator from Kentucky is because it was very much like a right place at the right time.
Yeah.
He came in at the right. There was an open senatorship. He came in at the right time, at the height of his own political popularity, with the name Paul still having a certain amount of sway, and he won the seat. And now he's kind of entrenched. So even though he has bucked the Republican Party more than a time or two, the Republican Party by and large isn't going to challenge him, because it's like, well, are we going to risk an unknown someone else, or are we just going to let Rand just have the seat until he retires or whatever? Same thing with Mitch. Again, thank God this dude's about to expire. Holy shit. The world's going to be so much better place when all these people die. Like, I'm not advocating violence, censors, and algorithms. I'm just saying the world's going to be a way better place when they're all dead. Tell me how I'm wrong that the world will actually be a worse place when Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, and Mitch McConnell die. Tell me I'm wrong.
Hey, remember that time when I said that that Department of Education bill should blow up? You know, just move the people there. So algorithm.
Yeah, but you
YouTube
said that ironically.
Yeah.
No,
I
in
think it's getting
Minecraft.
worse and worse.
Yeah, my federal Department of Education building in Minecraft should blow up.
There you go. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, the Minecraft version. Yes. All right, for sure, for real. We'll end on a high note. I just wanted to share this. I laughed hard when I heard this.
Mr. President, do you have a reaction to the new Time magazine cover that has Elon Musk sitting behind your resolute desk?
タイムマガジンにイーロン・マスクが、大統領の机の後ろで座っている写真がありますけども、それに関するコメントは何かありますか？
What?
Is Time Magazine still in business? I didn't even know that.
タイムマガジンは
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You want to be getting that from
See,
Joe.
this is another reason. See, again, I had said this about Trump when he was first on the verge, as I had said that they need to revoke the passes, the press passes for every single hostile news network, and completely load it with their people inside the White House. And that right there is actually a perfect example. So he's sitting there in the Oval Office meeting with the Prime Minister of Japan, and like if I were in my office meeting with, whatever, Ron Paul, wouldn't you think that a generally socially acceptable question for you to come in and ask would be like, oh, let me ask a question about Ron Paul, or, oh, Alan, how'd you get Ron Paul on the show? Or, oh, Dr. Paul, what do you think about this? No, I'm going to ask an inflammatory question purposely to try to enrage Trump, is to get a soundbite. That reporter should never be allowed in the White House ever again. Did she ask a question about, U.S.-Japanese relations? Did she ask about what they were meeting about? Did she ask, did she even ask a provocative question, but about that? What do you, what about, the continued U.S. presence in Japan or the South China Sea? That would have been a more provocative question, but at least it would have been related to here and now. No, it was, oh, they're dissing you with Elon Musk. Your thoughts? And the fucking Japanese prime minister which, by the way, they had a translator there. He speaks fucking English, right? Like it's not his first language, obviously, but he's sitting there like, what the fuck are these people?
Time Magazine. What the fuck's that?
Yeah. Time Magazine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. However they would say it in Japanese, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not really up on my Did you know I took Japanese in college?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All I know how to do is like count to 10. That's literally all I learned. Look, it's a college in America, all right? It's not exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. That's all the Japanese I know is like counting to like 10 or 20. That's it. Yeah.
I would
That's
say,
what
I would say do it, but I don't want to embarrass you.
It's like, ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, ichi, hachi, kyu, ju, ichi, ju, ni, ju, san.
Jew, how dare you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, they don't really like those people either, but but that's look.
Well, Asians
damn,
don't
maybe
like anyone else going. Yeah.
Damn, maybe I am Japanese.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, that's not true because you want that Korean girl's phone number. So you know how Japanese and Koreans, how their relationship's been in history.
Yeah, man, they really ought to get over that stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Says the American. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
It's Too Late with Alan Mosley. Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. That's right.
On Facebook, X, Twitter,
Facebook.
Twitch. Twitch is where like all the happening viewers go because they love the emotes and all the bullshit over there. We used to stream games.
15-year-olds.
That's where most of our old like longtime followers watch the show because it's just a good platform. Look, Aaron says y'all still doing that show? I went to Japan almost 30 years ago. Jesus, Aaron, you're old.
30 years ago.
Yeah,
When
30 years ago.
Was that when Nagasaki got bombed or something?
Yes. Yes. You also went to American schools. I see.
Yeah.
All right, Shane, get us out of here.
All right. Thanks for showing up. I really appreciate it. And now get out of here. The Theory of the Parallel does not want you here anymore. We'll see you next week, though.
When the show ends, they have to go to the north of the parallel.
That's true.